Listen, I'm so excited to be here with you today because I'll tell you what, a future ready community can be the difference between radical growth and stagnation, impact and insignificance. So, hi there, my name's Sabina Osorio, and I like to refer to myself as a mindful marketing athlete. I'm laser focused on growth and on community building. I also have the privilege of serving as TED's Director of Marketing and Customer Engagement, where we get to grow our conference community with love and care. So I'm excited to be here with you all because I think that so many futurists like yourselves don't realize that you have this unique opportunity to build a resilient community that's focused on human progress. So today I'm here to offer some insights for you as you're building your communities and spaces that are innovative, impact driven, and obviously inclusive to all. So I'll outline the agenda a little bit here. Today I want to focus on three topics to help you curate with purpose, collaborate generously, and cultivate and grow your communities so that they're future proofed. And I'll say this, I think whether you're steering a nonprofit like us at TED, or you're launching a startup, or even at the head of an enterprise, this session is going to equip you with the tools to really humanize your brand and build a future-ready community that can drive radical business growth. So before I jump into that agenda, I do want to say something that I think all of you will probably be very familiar with because we all live in this hyper-connected, digital-first world. And I'm sure a lot of you will agree that there's already, a challenge with differentiating between what's real, what's AI, what's a deep fake, for example. So today, more and more brands are making real humans, real humans, the faces of their community, right? So think, for example, folks that I follow like Sarah Blakely, Elon Musk, Reshma Sajani, Tim Cook, Mary Barra, Gary Vee, Mark Benioff, Bill Gates. These are just examples of people. And when I say them, you think them before you even think of their brand. So a lot of folks like the ones I just mentioned actually have bigger followings on social media and other platforms than the brands that they represent. They've become synonymous with that company or that brand's community. And I think that that's something to really consider because we're now in the future looking at a world that's a lot more AI and robot driven, and human first is a thing, a way for you all to consider as you build your communities. And as we dive into these three focus areas, I want you to keep this in mind because I know the future is like robot rich, but a human first approach is what's needed first and foremost. Okay, let's get to work. So number one on my list of threes, I want you to think about curating with purpose. So I know we all live in this world that's like saturated with negativity, tons of AI content, and nearly 300 TikTok videos get posted to TikTok every second, right? So naturally, we can't help but feel information overload, right? We're desperate for curation. And I think that this is where the concept of community has really taken a whole new meaning because now it's not just a place where people gather, it's really become a sanctuary of shared knowledge, connection, innovation, and really a chance for you to spread positivity and highlight generosity. So your community can really be a vibrant hub that like shapes new narratives, that fosters trust, that showcases inclusivity and authenticity to really help propel your members forward. But first, you really have to define your community's purpose and honor it as your North Star. Now, I'll show you this. I've got this cute little heart. Take a good look at it. My daughter made this heart, and you'll see that there's like a bunch of pieces of glass in there. And I want you to think of this heart as you think about the purpose of your community, and each little different piece and different color can represent a unique member of your community, each with a unique story and unique content that can really align with your overarching purpose. It can be your community's why, you know. So I like to say focus on your purpose. This is key. So define what that purpose is, and what we do is we curate a code of conduct around the purpose, right? So, for example, here at TED, we believe that ideas change people and people change the world, right? Our purpose is to discover and spread ideas that spark conversation, that deepen understanding, and that ultimately drive meaningful change in the world. So, with that said, our code of conduct reflects that, and we have a whole application process to attend one of our in-person experiences, and this does two things. This allows us to really get to know you on an individual level so that we know if you're the right fit for the community. And with this clear purpose, we craft this application process, we curate the code of conduct, but it also allows us to share the right content with people and to welcome new members that are aligned in our purpose and that allow us to really focus on sharing stories and news that uplift people and spread great ideas with impactful initiatives. So our content and our community is curated and aligned with the purpose of our mission. So again, remember this heart, because it's at the heart of everything that you do should be your purpose, right? Okay, number 2, collaborate generously. Because you see, what happens when you start with a clear purpose in mind is that you'll start to attract really valuable members of your community that you can just then tap in to be co-creators with you as you know, create content and allowing you to collaborate with them, right? We really feel that like collaboration amplifies the impact of curation. So by working together with your community members to become co-creators, you could really bring them in into shaping your narrative. And what I like to do is I like to be intentional about who we bring in to co-create with us so that you can really bring in diverse voices and diverse perspectives to the table and, you know, build content in a really thoughtful way. Because, you know, you want to build a community that's diverse and that serves folks across all spectrums and learning styles, right? So I think you have to consider that, you know, you find a lot of strength in diversity, and really that's where community blossoms. And what I want to share with you is I want to tell you to pass the mic, okay? It's not about you, it's about them. So empower your community and trust them to co-create with you. You can encourage them to actively participate in the curation process so that they have a say in terms of what gets shared. You can invite them to share their stories, to showcase their projects or initiatives in a way that can really be additive to your community. So pass the mic to the most diverse voices and really give them all a sense of ownership and just watch how things will flourish. Another quick thing you could do is you can invite them to be a part of a content committee. You can invite them to host a webinar with you, to join virtual events like we're doing now, to be guests on your podcast, to lead discussions across different events, and so on. Just remember, it's not about you, it's about them. And the more you can showcase them and the more you can bring them into the fold, the more they'll advocate for you and amplify your brand. One example I'll share, and then I'll move on, is I hope some of you are familiar with the brand Peloton. So you'll notice if you take a Peloton class, whether it's a bike cycling class or one of their running classes, they make their members the content. For example, they'll shout out people who have birthdays or who have completed a milestone, 100 runs, for example. They'll give them welcome shout outs and sort of even go as far as using the actual customers or community members in their commercials. So think about ways that you can really make your community invested in your brand, because I think brands like Peloton are doing a great job at it. Okay, moving on to number 3. This is where you get to cultivate and grow. And this is where I think things get a little juicy, because this is where you can really activate your community. So in this section, I want to show you my plant. This is I don't have a green thumb, and she's come a very long way because she's grown. So I've given her a lot of love, and I've put her by a window, and I've empowered her. Um, so I want you to think of that plans as you're growing your community, because there's so many ways that you could do this, and depending on the size, the scale, the unique needs of your community, you can adapt all of these approaches. So really quickly here, I'm going to share 5 resources for you to consider as you're growing your community. Number 1 is social tools, right? There's a lot of free resources out there on social media, and I encourage you to play where they play. Think about what's coming down the pipeline. You're all futurists on this call, right? So what's coming that you're seeing that's going to be a new trend on social media? I love LinkedIn groups, for example, Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups. I know Meta is investing heavily on their DM strategy. So look at WhatsApp. What could you do on WhatsApp that's different? The other thing is Instagram has this close friends feature. That's a new thing that is really taking off within that platform, where people are sharing content with smaller circles of folks. I love things like Slack groups, or even platforms like GroupMe that allow you to really connect with specific members of a group, whether that's like, I use it for like my tennis club or my supper club. So look at those social tools out there, because they're growing, and they make it really easy for you to engage with your community. Number 2, this list of 5 is content that serves. Okay, give them what they like. You're building this community. Now engage with them by providing them with useful content that they want to get from you. Whether that's blog posts, videos, I love video, or email newsletters. Make the newsletter so good that they create a folder and they save your newsletters. And every time they get a note from you, they're like excited and they want to read it and they want to bookmark it and save it for later. So I think another cool tool with content is like webinars. Those never go out of style. Invite only kind of webinars or events. Exclusive content. People love getting reports, white papers, ebooks, something that will make them smarter. Think about ways you can serve them. And I'll share a final one. It's like member recognition, right? Use your members as the content. Spotlight a member a month or a week and let them drive that content for you. Okay, number 3 in this list of 5, and I'd be remiss if I did not say in-person convenings. You got to bring people together, folks. There's such a power in having people in the same room. Energies are bouncing, ideas are being shared, and it's electric. So bring people together. I know that that gets pricey, but you can find different ways to do this, and I'm going to share a few with you. You could do like smaller networking events in your cities. You could have different chapters of your community and have a leader host some kind of dinner. You could do a book club meetup, for example. Another great idea is pick a sector. If you're in a specific sector, attend an event with a group of people together. Bring your community together and say, hey, 10 of us are going to this conference. Why don't you join us? And then you leverage that platform to host something with your group in a more intimate way. Whatever you do, make sure you have a marketer, someone who can take good photos and videos, because you're going to want to use that as content that you share with your community again. And obviously people love to see themselves in photos and to reminisce and to kind of look back at the experience. So make sure you capture great content. Okay, number 4 is feedback loops. I mean, a lot of techies on this call, so you'll understand and appreciate this, but you really have to listen. You have to listen to your community, and you could do this in so many ways. I'm going to kind of spotlight 3 here to really get insight into what they're thinking. And I think surveys are a great way for you to listen to your community. I think polls on social media are a great tool. And I know that there are email platforms that allow you to kind of get polls inserted into your newsletter, for example. So I can reply to the newsletter and you can ask something like, hey, what did you think of today's newsletter, Sabina? And I can say, it was terrible. I want you to do this, this, and that. And I can really get direct feedback from you. And what people often do is they'll ask members of their community for quotes or suggestions or something to share of value, and then they'll add it at the top of the next newsletter. So then I know, oh, whenever I reply to this, they listen and they showcase it at the top of the next one. So think about opportunities like that where you could pull polls and comments into your actual content. The last one was like comments too. So if you've got a great comment that someone shared on social, or they emailed you with something, a great experience they had, showcase that. Ask them for permission. Hey, can I share this with the broader community? Most of the time, 8 out of 10 times, people will say yes, share it. So definitely try to get those feedback loops incorporated and really do some active listening. Okay, number 5 in this growth category is referrals and advocacy. Okay, you want your community to be recruiting for you, but you have to make it easy. So you have to make it easy for them to invite other people into the community. You could do this by having share buttons on your content, on your emails. You can have refer a friend programs where they can invite plus ones into the community or to attend an event with them. You can make it easy with marketing collateral, things like badges or certificates or assets like a photo of them with a badge that they're a part of this community or that they've been accepted, or a milestone of some sort. And obviously swag. People love a sweatshirt or a shirt or a water bottle. And these are all things that make them feel special and seen, and will make it easy for them to spark a conversation like, oh, where'd you get that water bottle? Or I love your sweatshirt, tell me about it. So those are quick little tips. So I'll recap the 5 in the growth category. You've got Let me go back. You've got social, right? You want to be playing on social media. You want to nurture them with really good content that serves. You want to do in-person convenings, and you want to do your feedback loops. And number 5 is you want to make it easy for them to refer people to you. So the trick here is just consistently showing up, right? Show up regularly with meaningful content, engaging content along every single moment and chance you get with them. And if they comment on a post, make sure you take the time to answer and like and reply to every post. I know it sounds like a lot, but you dedicate 20 minutes a day to engaging and listening to your community, you're going to get a lot of insights. Okay, well, listen, I know we're wrapping up here. I've said a lot, so I'll leave it there and put a quick pin on it. But I want to remind you that you've got a really cool power here. You've got a superpower to create a powerful community that's purpose-driven, that spreads generosity, and that can really help propel humans forward. So embrace this unique gift and curate with care, and go ahead and collaborate with your community. You've got such great folks that you can bring in that are diverse, and just watch it grow. I think you're on your way. I want to thank you all for listening to me and for nerding out over the power of transformative community. I really think that you guys can build something really special. And I did want to leave a little bit of time for some Q&A. But if you would like to learn more about this topic, or if you've got feedback, you can find me on LinkedIn. That's where I play the hardest. Again, my name is Sabina Osorio. And obviously, if you're interested in attending a TED conference, I'd love to help get you there.